Hello all, it's Jonathan again. Lockdown garden. There's Puddy Tat. Donk. So we thought we'd have another look around. Clematis is doing well. And the petunias are finally starting to kick off. And we got our African marigolds, is it? We've got peppermint plants, yew trees. I planted some Acer saccharinum seed. Look! Pom-pom alliums. And the bees love it. There's a flower. These violas are looking pretty splendid now. I've been giving them a lot of water. And this is the sycamore tree that I hope to gorilla plant at some point in the future. Woodside Green near the memorial. Seen there's a giant lime tree there they decided to cut down, and it had a notice on it saying they were going to replace it, but they never did, so I'm going to gorilla plant this sycamore tree on Woodside Green. This is the Harrington Nursery. And we got tomatoes grown from supermarket tomatoes basically. There's four plants there that were potted on first, and then these ones I planted a couple of days, potted on. Again, small pomodoro tomatoes, and there's a couple of strange lupin plants. I've got to cover them up because the squirrels do their best to destroy everything, I'm afraid. They dig everywhere. The Canterbury Bells are open. And we got two colours. We got purple and we got white. Sadly, I need to tie them up, but I've got nothing to tie them up. See all the marjoram or oregano literally growing everywhere. And we've even got a foxglove, the first foxglove of the season. Take a swig of my herbal drink, which is rosemary, peppermint and hemp oil. And in this corner I potted up some mullein. So mullein is of the verbascum family. I just got to remember to keep them good and wet because I had to dig them out of the ground, out the front of the block. They would have been destroyed anyway. So I potted them up in compost, and I just got to keep them wet. And there's a couple of bronze fennel and onopordum, which is a big thistle basically. And that'll probably flower next year or the year after. And we've got a rose here. It probably dates to when the block was built. And I should imagine that this is masquerade, which has sort of a combination yellow and pink flower. Masquerade. And you've got another one called baby masquerade, and they tend to have a climbing habit. And David Austin roses, likely Charlotte and Grace. They're the only ones that I didn't get to cut back in March, and they have drooped sadly. The compost bin is filling up nicely. Here was where my chopping block used to be, where I do my staking with the Staffordshire billhook. And there was a log, a thin log, and it was underneath the block, and I lifted it up and it had literally totally rotted away. It had just gone to ground and it had mixed in with the surface and the topsoil, so basically I could put my fingers down at least 2 inches. And then I just rammed this post in here for some strange reason. And this recycle bin, I put some Maris pear potatoes in, so I've got 5 potatoes in here. And when they sprout above the surface, I need to move this recycle bin over there into more light. Swap a couple of the planters around. And this is Michaelmas Daisy on the corner. And here, pot noodle beans, yeah! Pot noodle beans. And there's this year's parsley. Basically they came from Aldi, and then you just split them up and plant them, and then you got your own fresh parsley outdoors. So here's your beans. Like Barlotti type beans, pinto beans. And there's a spearmint in the corner. There's that Vera again. Not the normal aloe vera, it's the spikier one. There's some crap here. And here's the path. Now what I done was, there's a conifer over there, and I cut a load of the lower branches off that sort of shade this corner, and then I'll put the branches through my Ryobi shredder onto this path. So underneath here I've got spruce shreddings, and then I've got the conifer shreddings on the top. And all around the outside of the path I've got ex-Christmas tree trunks that I basically snedded all the branches off with a Staffordshire billhook, and I made a new path. Now where them potatoes were, that was all last year's parsley, and they just started to run to seed. So basically what I done, I removed it, took some of the roots off the base of them, and then I replanted the parsley into this triangular area where all the primrose, primulas and oh god, the daffs were in here as well. So they will continue to flower and maybe seed. We've got bird's foot trefoil in here as well. There's a bird's foot trefoil, and that will flower later. And I'm sure I've got at least a couple of wildflowers in here somewhere. But I need to keep this area watered well. The parsley that's running to seed is already starting to droop, but then it's quite hot today. Look, finally, the Delphinium opened. Finally. And it looks good against the antirrhinum. And there's another stem on the Delphinium there. Look, hopefully that'll be taller and look even better. There's Pusscat. Meow. Nom 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 nom. Nah, not responsive. And my tiny veg patch, I've got radishes in here. Again, something I need to constantly water, because radishes are like that basically. And I've got a row of carrots as well. You can see the carrots. Again, I've had to cover everything up because of squirrels. So yeah, it's coming on quite well. And the projects I done last night, I reclaimed these tree posts and I used these Staffordshire bill hook to cut the ends off, make new points to them. So I got 4 of them, and they're proper ones because they got the rubbers on the end, so I use them, 2 of them for that sycamore tree when I plant it. Yeah, so it's quite warm today, but things are still changing in the garden. I think I'm going to have to knock it on the head now. Running out of space on the phone as always. So that's an update on the garden. And I'll catch you later in another video. Bye for now.